To start in with branding number 5 in this series, well-branded places and how to get on the list. And I'm going to start off with ones that are really obvious. They already have such a well-known brand. You don't even have to say what state or province they're located in. That would include Nashville. Obviously, we know it as a country music capital of the world. They're trying to be just the music capital of the world. Now, off to the right, you see the word organic. I wanted to identify these. Which ones happened kind of organically over time, and which ones did they actually orchestrate, say, hey, we want to be the country music capital? And so you're going to see these. Nashville is an obvious one. Napa Valley is another one. I don't have to tell anybody what their brand is because it's one of the best or well-known brands in North America. Now, that was orchestrated. The first wineries there did invite other wineries in there until they had so many. As a matter of fact, there are more than 500 wineries in Napa Valley. Las Vegas was obviously orchestrated. They started that. It was the middle of nowhere out in the middle of the desert. And they orchestrated the entire brand and all the product that goes with it. Orlando, Anaheim, these were a little bit more organic because Orlando started with Disney World. They didn't say we want to be the brand for kids and family. They put Disney World there, and then 169 other attractions came along later. So once they were there, they orchestrated it. Branson, Missouri is one that, and now we're getting to a little bit smaller ones that not everybody might know. So you notice the state is included in this one, but Branson, Missouri is a town of 10,000 residents and 7.5 million visitors a year. It has 49 music theaters, all of them privately owned. And so it just stands out. Moab, Utah, slick rock biking. Once again, this is organic, obviously, because all of these assets were already there. And is there more to Moab than just slick rock biking? Of course. But that's the one thing that puts them on the map, probably more than anything else. I mean, yes, they're right next to Arches National Park and other national parks just north of them. And they have a myriad of outdoor recreational opportunities. But if you were to go to Google and just type in slick rock biking anywhere in the world, just those 3 words, page after page after page, Moab shows up, which means they own that brand. Stratford, Ontario, Canada's premier arts town. It started with the Stratford Shakespeare Festival, which has been going on for quite a while. And now they own this whole premier arts town brand. We can go to Little Oatman, Arizona, a town of 400 people and 500,000 visitors a year. And they have 1,700 wild burros. These are not tame. Well, they're pretty tame. You can walk up and pet them, but they live up in the hills. And every day they come down into town, and 500,000 visitors a year will go out of their way on Route 66 to Little Oatman, Arizona. And you could buy feed the donkeys. It's quite the attraction, and so any town can do this if you have something that's unique. Parowan, Utah is known for Utah's best cinnamon rolls. I mean, they even have the press call them the best cinnamon rolls in the West. So it doesn't have to be Disney. It could be one thing. And they've done a really great job with that. And the population there is just 3,100. Shipshewana, Indiana is known for its Amish population, and their population is only 1,000 people, very organic to the area. Now, is there more in Shipshewana than just the Amish? Of course, it's fantastic. It's a great little town in northern Indiana. I mean, we could do another one, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is also well known worldwide for its Amish population, very much organic to the area. And they're able to leverage that. And by the way, the population of Lancaster is about 60,000. We could go to Wisconsin Dells. Wisconsin Dells and Lake Delton, 2 towns right next to each other, make up the Wisconsin Dells brand, which is the water park capital of the world. Now, here's what you have to understand. The population of these 2 towns is a total of 5,000. Yet they see more than 4 million visitors a year. You know what? Romy Snyder, my good friend there, has a $15 million annual marketing budget. Wow. And they have 18 water parks in these two little towns. It's amazing. You know, Phillipsburg, Montana, population of 850, is one of the most colorful cities in North America. It's just beautifully done. But when you go there, you're probably going to go to the Sweet Palace, one of the world's greatest candy store. I mean, it's amazing. So what they did is, by colorizing all of their buildings, they hand painted them. I mean, they're just an incredibly beautiful town. It put them on the map and made them worth a special trip. We can go to Walla Walla, Washington, population 33,000. It was known as a prison town, and it was known as for Walla Walla onions, and now it's a premier wine destination. I mean, it's amazing. They had to orchestrate that so they would be more than a prison town and more than just onions. And so they orchestrated that, and they now deliver on the promise. We can go to Ashland, Oregon, population 21,000, home of the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which runs 6 days a week, 9 months of the year. They have 3 theaters there and an outdoor stage. I mean, it is an amazing destination. Matter of fact, the Shakespeare Festival employs more than 500 people. And that makes an amazing brand. It's one of the top theater destinations in North America. Heck, we can keep going on and on, but Mount Airy, North Carolina. Yes, it's known as Mayberry. Andy Griffith grew up here, and it's still Mayberry. But here's the thing. Over time, Mayberry, there's a lot of people who go, what's Mayberry? They don't know the old TV show. And as new generations come in, they've been working. They're still Mayberry, but they've been really working hard to diversify their economy into wine and into shopping and into dining. And it's an amazing town. Another one, Sedona, Arizona, population 10,000. It's always been known for new age, you know, the health, the wellness, the pristine environment, very much organic to them, but it's also an amazing arts town. So even though they're known for their wellness, that new age thinking, there's a lot more to offer, but they market that one thing that really puts them on the map. We could go to North Adams, Massachusetts. I mean, this is a great little town. Population is 13,000 there. And they took this used to be a place where they made electrical wiring and electrical components, and they turned it into Mass MoCA, the Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art. Mass MoCA is an international draw. It is an amazing experience that really put North Adams on the map. Back in Arizona, Jerome, Arizona. This used to be, and by the way, this was the world's largest, or the America's largest ghost town. Not so much anymore. Population, just 500. But this used to be a copper mining town, a gold mining town, and now it's become quite the arts community. There's several wineries in town. And Nellie Bly, that you see right here, is the largest kaleidoscope store in the world. I mean, that alone makes you worth the special trip. Now, there's something I want you to notice about all these. Almost all of them were built on private sector investment, like Nellie Bly, the wineries in Napa Valley, the theaters in Branson, the country music in Nashville. I mean, all of these private sector, even Orlando and all those attractions in Anaheim, all private sector. So sometimes you need to promote the private sector places that make you worth a special trip. That includes the cinnamon rolls in Parowan. You know, but if we want to go to recreation, I put Squamish right at the top of that list. Population is about 15,000. This is north of Vancouver, BC, between Vancouver, BC and Whistler Resort. It is known worldwide for its rock climbing. This is the Chief you see here. And people from all over the world come there. Now, is there more to do there? Absolutely. This place is hardwired for adventure, but they best known for probably their rock climbing and then their mountain biking. This is really sea and sky. So these are a few examples of well-branded places, and I could have spent 2 or 3 hours going through Paducah, Kentucky, and Artstown, and Berea, Kentucky, folk art, and kept going down the list. But the best towns that have the most success are known for something specific. Yes, they have more to offer than just that, but that's the one thing that puts them on the map. They don't go around saying we're all things to all people. You know, if you want to see more of these case histories, check out this video in the vault, Rebranding Success Stories. And it goes more in depth on these and other ones. And you can fast forward and pick the ones that you think most resemble what you might want to do. Now, I also said we're going to talk about how to get on this list. But the number one way, as you saw with all these examples, is you need to narrow your focus. Don't be all things to all people. And then if you narrow your focus, people within that niche will tell everyone they know. People that have climbed the Chief in Squamish have gotten people to move there from New Zealand, Australia, Great Britain. I mean, people are gravitating there from all over the planet because of social media, people sharing their experience and how great it is. Matter of fact, Squamish is now the youngest city in Canada. It wasn't that way 15 years ago. And so you need to start with your social media. You know, let people share that. Reach out to influencers that might be in the wine industry or whatever it is that your niche is in. And the same with publications. All these, if you want to be biking, all these magazines right here that you see coming up on your screen, they're looking for places to send their readers. So if you're known for your mountain biking or a certain mountain biking trail, they're going to write about you and it's not going to cost you, and you're just going to expand your audience. You know, no magazine writes about any place that has something to offer everyone. And that is a huge, huge difference. So reaching out to these people, they're going to say, well, wow, that's who our readers want. And so, yes, we want to write about you. We're going to come and visit you. So it's online media influencers, publications, you name it, YouTube channels, you got it. Now, there's going to be many of you that are saying, but we don't have anything unique. We don't have anything that sets ourselves above everybody else. So let me give you some ideas. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can go in the handout and print out this list right here and say, oh, do we want to be known for antiques, which Jefferson, Texas did, or food or writing or authors, you know, team sports, festivals, whatever it is. Here's some ideas you might be able to tap into. If that list isn't enough, here's some more. And by the way, you can't just say we're mountain biking. It needs to be, is it fat tire biking? Is it a certain trail? How does it needs to be either different or better than everyone else. And that's really important as you do this. And so let me give you some other examples, and you can use these ideas, particularly if they're in a different market from the market I'm going to show you. But if you want to be known for trout fishing, not just fishing, trout fishing. So in the case of Flaming Gorge, which is in Northwest Utah, it's a national recreation area. Look at, they hold all these state records. And if you claim something, prove the fact that you own it. Now, this is their ad before. I thought it had too much information on it, so we changed it to this one. And we talked about all the 5 Utah records, 6 in Wyoming, average catch size, to prove it. But see what I mean? It's not just fishing, it's trout fishing. And then they prove it in their ads. I mean, when it comes to birding, the challenge is only 5% of the population is really into birding, but 80% of the population is into photography. So what if you had a birding destination, you wanted to make it about photography? It's a great way to marry the two together. And so you could run ads like this, redefining living art. We did this for Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge in northern Utah near Brigham City. You know, so you could run ads or a brand along this line, particularly if you're not going to compete with them. You're in a different market somewhere else. And even here, see, redefining living art, they go clear over to almost the Bonneville Salt Flats. And so that's a way to do photography as a brand. If you're a multi-sport brand, here's what you can do. This is in Green River, which is in southern Utah, close to Colorado. They're a great destination and so we did this as a concept for them: ride, rinse, repeat. They got both the mountain biking, slick rock, kind of like Moab, and they've got the river, the Green River right there. And then you could repeat that cycle. So these are just things you could do, and feel free to use these ideas. If you're a bouldering destination, that's a little different than rock climbing. We did this. This is another place in Utah where we did Joe's Valley near Orangeville, which people are coming from all over the United States to do bouldering right here in this location. So they did ads like this: don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. And they promoted Joe's Valley for that. Now, in all of these, there's more to offer, but that's the one thing that puts them on the map. So it needs to be front and center in all their marketing. You could be a celebration brand. We did this in what they call Old Strathcona, which is a district in Edmonton, Alberta. And it has like 13 districts. So how does your set out? Well, Old Strathcona, or White Avenue, WHYTE, White Avenue, has become the life of the Edmonton party. It's where people go to hang out. It's a celebration brand. They can run ads like this, the life of the Edmonton party. These are ideas you could do, and you could see whether we orchestrated these. And in most of these cases, it might have been organic, but we put it front and center. The Sanctuary brand, I talked about this in one of our first videos in the branding series. And this is Alpena, Michigan. This is not the sanctuary city where we invite illegal aliens to come in, but this is a sanctuary as far as a place as a destination, and so they orchestrated this, and they run ads like this. It defines Alpena as a sanctuary city. Or a sanctuary brand, I should say. Even industrial art and design, you go, well, how is that cool? Well, York, Pennsylvania did a great job with that. The attraction is more than just scientific. See what I mean? You could build a brand out of just about anything. Performing arts, one of my best ones, and I'm going to talk about this one coming up in our 3 great case histories, is El Dorado, Arkansas, a town of just 20,000 people. It's showtime. What are you doing this weekend? Everything they do is about the performing arts. These are their brochures they use. Shopping could be a brand. This is Walnut Creek, California, population of about 60,000 in the East Bay area. People come from all over the Bay Area and even in Northern California to go shopping there. What's on your list today? And so all of these things are great brands that you can emulate. You could do a farm to table, a cork wine destination. This is Caldwell, Idaho, did a great job with this, and Idaho's wine country there in Nampa, Caldwell, Boise area. But here's the bottom line. Over time, we have worked in more than 2,200 communities, and the consistent factor is this: there was always a tireless champion or two, always. Just 1 or 2 people is all it takes to put that one thing front and center in your branding efforts. They never take no for an answer. They become a Pied Piper in recruiting other people to promote you for that one thing that differentiates you or puts you on the map. And they put their reputation on the line all the time. And that's because they're going to make something happen. So here are the 5 takeaways from this branding case history little list for you to start from. All were built on a foundation already in the community. Like there might have been 1 winery, but now there's 500. Or we've got mountain biking trails, but we really worked on developing them. They were built in a foundation. That foundation is your product, the experience, the activities you're selling. And you can never rest on your laurels. Disney doesn't rest on their laurels. They're always working to create reasons for people to come back again and again. All of them had a sole champion who carried a torch, was a tireless pioneer for that brand. And they took time to develop. They all took time to develop all of those that I showed you. There are no quick solutions. You can do this in 2 or 3 years if you already have the foundation there. And then the size of the community does not matter at all. Like Oatman, a town of 400, or Phillipsburg, a town of 850. They all had something that they did, and it took time, and they all stayed with a narrow focus, because without that, you cannot win. It waters down your brand. So with that, here's to the power of a narrow focus and the champions that make it happen. And up next in this series is Branding 6, Developing the Action Plan.